Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from another one of my ranked games, still early on here in set 8. I think that my account was Silver 2, almost Silver 1 at this point in time. Still trying to get in a few more ranked games. Most of my games are double up games, and I don't have a ton of times to play these games. But this is a ranked game, is not a double up game. And in this game, we're going to be looking at a game where things don't go according to plan. Usually, the footage I put up are games where things worked out. They might be high roll games. They might be games where I thought I made a good decision, that sort of thing. It's usually better to watch games where things work out than opposed to when things don't work out. But sometimes it all goes wrong. And I do think it's useful every now and then to toss up some footage of games where things don't work out and show how I was trying to do my best to play around randomness, the random factors in Teamfight Tactics, in a game where things just did not line up the way I was expecting them to, and forced me to try to pivot my team comp in an alternate direction in ways that I was not expecting, and do my best to play the hand that I was dealt. All right, well, to start out, I already have not gotten the opening carousel that I most wanted to get. I liked starting with the defensive items, but this was an offensive items carousel. I believe you get the offensive carousels about 15% of the time. It's right around 15 to 20% of the time. So it was all swords and bows and rods. I actually would have liked to have taken a rod off that carousel, but not an option. Instead, I end up with a sword. And then I see what I've got here. I end up with a bow and a glove. And I was like, oh, you know what? Sword, bow, glove. Okay, it's not bad. We can play some kind of AD comp. That looks like something we can look to run. Unfortunately, I end up grabbing poppies here at the start of the game when I could have grabbed some additional blitzcranks, and I was like, it's a little bit unfortunate because I think I could have had blitz 2-star and 2 out of 3 Renekton's there, but that's okay. And look what I've gotten here. I have a Sivir, a unit that I can put AD items on. So that's kind of what I need most of all here at the beginning of the game. Oh, 2 things I really need. I need strong frontline. Got to have some kind of tanky units for your other units to play behind. And then you have to use an item to put, or champions to put offensive items on. And as it turns out, I am going to end up with the Sivir, who is a decent champion to put this on. All right, now out of these options, I don't really like any of these options. Triforce, Cybernetic Uplinks, Ludens. I have an AD-based comp, so Cybernetic Uplinks and Ludens are not going to be that great. I end up grabbing the Cybernetics option because I think it's the best of the various options available, but I maybe should have looked to use my reroll there. Now, it is a silver augment, so when you have silver augments, you're less likely to want to reroll them just because, you know, they're the weakest augments. You'd prefer to save your augment reroll for better options, but all of those missed me pretty badly, and I just ended up taking Cybernetic Uplink as one of the default options there, but it really does not fit the comp that I'm trying to play into, which is going to be some kind of AD-based comp, and I'm hoping to play into Samira here, into Sure Shot plus Samira, because I already have the Sivir, and if I can just get some front line and then find some units to go along with it, I should be able to work from there, or at least that is the hope. Now, one thing I did not know at the time, by the way, I have caught a minor break here on hitting the AFK player. This is the person who took AFK augment, which means they can't take any action, so it's kind of a free win here on the first round. As I was saying, when you're playing an AD comp, you generally, right now, kind of want to go into one of 2 directions. You would either want to look to play into Vertical Duelist, which is a popular AD build, or if you're not going to go that route, then you would probably want to play into Samira via the Sure Shot route. You can also look to reroll particular champions. You could look to reroll into, say, Vayne, for example. But if you don't have an early Vayne, or if you're not looking to reroll Ashe, for example, there aren't that many AD options to play into. So I'm looking at my board right now. I'm still kind of kicking myself that I didn't buy the 1 Blitzcrank earlier. I bought 2 poppies and then never saw the poppies after that. So I ended up with 2 out of 3 Blitzcranks, but I don't have Blitzcrank 3-star. Then I get these Zoes in my store. I was like, Zoe's really expensive, but I feel like damage is my biggest weakness right now. I feel like maybe I should grab these Zoes and just look to have Zoe as another damage option. That's a possibility. If I could hit an early 2-star Zoe, that would be really nice. And there is some potential to play Zoe as an extra unit in this team because she has so many useful traits, Gadgeteen, Prankster, Hacker. She's one of those units you can kind of play even if you don't have any other units on the board. So I can see I'm going to lose this round, so I opt to sell one of the Blitzcrank so I can buy that other Zoe. I do think that was a mistake because I've just invested 6 gold into these 2 Zoes, and that is going to set my econ back a lot. And then also, look what happens here. Oof. Would have had the Blitzcrank 2-star, but once again, I sold to pick up the Zoe, and now that means that I do not have Blitzcrank 2-star. I'm also going to find another Sivir. So my econ is not looking great. My board is not looking great. As I said, these Zoes were probably a mistake to pick up, but I was looking for a way to get my board to be a little bit stronger here. But I have no 2 stars. I don't have a good economy, and my board is not feeling especially amazing. I do have good items on Sivir. If I could find 1 Senna, or even better, 1 Samira, then I'd actually be in reasonably good shape. But that is not what I have found thus far. And it's going to be a little rough going. Also note that Sivir just tosses her boomerang at absolutely nothing right there. This person has already leveled to level 5, which is in the hopes of like playing aggressive, playing tempo. They've also found a Riven, a Jax, and an Echo so far. So it's like, okay, that's a bit of a high roll on stage 2-3 to already have Riven and Jax and and Echo in. But yeah, that was not what I was looking for, and my setup is not good here. Plus, I'm not even first pick off of this carousel. I actually am going to be third pick here. So a couple different options here. I have the option to pick a frontline item, and I believe I end up going for that. Ultimately, I could have maybe just grabbed the Vayne and looked to pivot out of the Sivir into Vayne. That might have been a better option, but I was thinking I really need to start getting some kind of frontline items. I have all offensive items right now, but I don't have anything that's going to let my team tank for longer on this board. So maybe I could have gone for the Vayne. Vayne with the bow could have been Giant Slayer or Last Whisper, which are pretty good items on Vayne. And then maybe I could have looked to build through that, but no, that's not going to be what happens here. So again, I opt to take the belt, and I'm going to try to find someone to put this on. I'm still not exactly sure the best person to put it on is. I think I end up putting it on Blitz because I'm closest to Blitz 2-star. And then I go ahead and level and toss in the Zoe because I feel like I need more damage. But again, you can see the problem here. My economy is really, really bad. And my board strength is also bad as well. So this game is just not going the way that I want it to go. And I'm really hoping that I can find another sure shot unit or some other kind of backline damage unit that I can put these items on. One of the problems with Sivir is she is really not a carry unit. She's really a support unit. Her ability has a heal on it. I think people by this point are probably roughly familiar with Sivir, but if you're new to this set, her ability is she throws a pizza, deals physical damage, but then splits into slices and heals nearby allies. So the actual damage is relatively low as far as abilities go. Again, that's why I wanted to get Zoe on the board for some additional damage. I felt like Sivir alone was definitely not going to cut it, and I've been hoping to get a sure shot unit to pair with her, but I haven't found that. And like, look at these shops. Right now, these are some of the weakest units in this particular patch. Silas is like unplayably weak. Talon, basically unplayably weak. I'm getting Kale, who is pretty much useless outside of duelist boards, unless you would get her carry augment, which is pretty strong. But like, these champs are not helping, and I have no 2-stars, and the champs that I have pairs of are just costing me a lot of money. Like this Zoe pair is very expensive, as I've said a couple times. But Zoe is not really contributing that much. Like, if I actually had the Zoe 2-star, I'd be in much better shape here. But no, not so much. And so I got that Sivir off the initial minion rounds, but I have not been able to get Sivir 2-star, and that's hurting quite a bit. So I would definitely like to win this round so I can at least have a modest 2-match winning streak going into the minion stage here. And it looks like that's going to happen, I believe, if we can manage to kill this Lux. Lux's targeting is so inconsistent. It's hard to believe she could kill everything. Okay, so I am not able to win that. I was able to win the last 2 rounds and stabilize a bit, but there's some very strong people in these lobbies. Like I said, that person on the heel just looks extremely strong based on their crazy high roll to this point in time in the game. And there's another person who, oh, actually, they just lost to somebody who's on 130 HP. Anyway, this is a bit better. I do hit the Blitz 2-star, and then I'm also going to find a Riven and an Annie, and I was like, boy, again, I've got like the pieces of several different comps here. My items mean I really have to play an AD comp, but I'm just not seeing AD champions like at all here. Like literally not at all. I'd actually be pretty well set up to play a Spellsinger comp here, but like my items, like I have a sword and a Last Whisper. These are not the items you would slam if you're going to look to play into an AP comp. Now, like maybe I should have held those items, but I don't know. And like now I'm going to get a Rod, which again is great if I'm playing an AP comp, but it's like, no, I'm trying to play an AD comp here. Can I maybe get some items that fit that? All right, I'm going to get the Rammus here. Again, not really what I'm looking for. And then I end up getting a bow, so I will sell the Annie so I can get back to 20 gold. So, I mean, this is not terrible from the items. Now I have the ability to make a Rage Blade, which is going to be pretty nice. I also find a Zac in my store, so I was like, all right, well, I can look to hold that. Let's go ahead and make the Rage Blade. We'll put this on Sivir. And again, I have, like, good items if I could find a Samira. If I could find another bow for Giant Slayer or another glove for Infinity Edge, I actually have really, really good items for Samira. I just have to find a Samira or find a Senna. Like, if I could find Senna, I'd get Sure Shot trait in, and that would actually start providing some additional AD and some additional damage. I would happily play that over the Zoe for right now, but like I said, just kind of not finding a lot. I guess maybe I could have played Duelist, but it was kind of hard to know that at the time based on what I had seen. Well, anyway, here's the AFK player. I believe this is the person I hit in the very first round of the game. But they have used AFK to get a lot of gold. They have lost a fair bit of health, but they're obviously playing Yuumi reroll here. They have 2-star Yuumi. They have a bunch of mascots. I do not have a heal cut on my board, so it's very hard to get through the mascots. And mascot teams really do well against low damage opposition, which is exactly what I have. The mascots regenerate health over time. You look at all the healing that's coming in on that board. Again, with a low damage setup, I just cannot make it through the mascot healing, so I'm just never going to kill anything. I think I killed one unit there. So again, this is looking pretty brutal here, and then I'm trying to see what I want here, and I was like, that's not really what I want. And then, like, look at this blue battery. Again, awesome if I'm playing an AP comp, but I don't have the items to play an AP comp. Look at this. I can't play an AP comp with these items. My only rod I've already turned into a Rage Blade, and otherwise it's been all swords and bows. So I was like, Jesus, if like I had 2 tiers and I had taken blue battery, like I could be playing into Zoe. Zoe would kill everything. This would be awesome. Maybe I could have made a jeweled gauntlet, but it's like, no, I've got AD items. I have to play into an AD comp, and I am just not seeing those units at all. I've seen no Veins. I've seen a couple of Ashes, but no Veins. I've only seen the one Sivir after the minion rounds. No Sennas, no Samiras. It's slim pickings, to be sure. I mean, I guess I've seen some Yasuos, but I mean, he does magic damage too. So unless I was going to go for Ashe, who is one of the worst units in the game in this current build, I'm not sure what I was supposed to do here. I'm just not hitting, unfortunately. And my items are just a terrible fit for the units that I'm seeing in the shop. It's just like, sometimes this happens. Sometimes you just are not getting what you need to get. I have very good items for some kind of auto-attacking AD-based champion here. Like, give me a Vayne and a team around her. This would she would actually be doing quite well. But no Vaynes, no Vaynes, no more Sivers, no Sennas, no Samiras. None of the champions that I could actually use are popping up in the shop here. So it's pretty brutal. It's pretty bleak right now. And like in my shop, again, what am I going to do with these champions? I can't do anything with any of these champs. My board is very weak, and my economy is very weak. So like, as bad as this is right now, it's actually going to get worse because other people are going to get stronger. And my potential for getting stronger is not very good at the moment. I'm like trying to scout these other boards, but I'm like, I really don't see what exactly I do here. I need to hope. Okay, so I am going to be first pick on this next carousel, barring something weird happening. I need to find like a Samira on this next carousel. Excuse me. Because if I can hit Samira on this carousel, and then I can transfer these items over to Samira and then play the Sivir alongside her, then I'll actually be able to do something. Like, again, the items are fine. It's just the champion. I'm just missing the champions to actually play this stuff. My front line does stall for a decently long amount of time, especially with the Zac in there. So just, yeah, need to get some damage on this board. Zoe's actually doing a fair bit of damage, even with none of her traits active. So, like I said, that's the reason why I'm playing her. But she's still a 1-star unit with no traits active, so there's only so much that she can do in these fights. For the second augment, I took Phony Frontline for lack of better options. And like, this fight's kind of close, but I still can't actually kill much of anything. I think Sivir 2-star actually wins that fight, so it's going to be another loss. And it's like, all right, well, there's no Samira here, is there? Nope, no Samira here whatsoever. So at this point, I was like, well, I'm just going to grab this Zac because I can make a Sunfire Cape. There's no AD units at all that I can make use of here. I guess Fiora's an AD unit. Like I said, if I'd played Duelist, I guess I would have done okay here because I have seen a decent number of Duelists, but there's really no way to know that at the beginning of the game. That's just going to be no AD champs at all. So yeah, anyway, I will take the Zac. I can sell for 4 gold. I desperately need the 4 gold, so I will sell this Zac, even though it would take me closer to Zac 2-star. So we'll go ahead and make the Sunfire, which is going to help. And then I'm just like, I guess I have to roll. But like Ezreal, and okay, this is a little better. I hit the Sivir 2-star, so I believe I stopped there. I was like, okay, I at least have Sivir 2-star, so that's going to give me something. There's also a LeBlanc, so I can see what the admin trait is. And I was like, oh, okay, every 5 seconds your team gains 10% attack speed. That's actually pretty good. Let's go ahead and hold that. So I'll just play the LeBlanc so that I have that admin trait in for right now. The extra attack speed is going to be pretty good on Sivir, so I have a pretty good admin trait. Now I'm thinking maybe I can splash in admin. I don't know if I'll run this long term, but like for right now, it's actually going to be pretty useful for Sivir just to keep stacking up her attack speed. It will synergize decently with the Rage Blade. So my team definitely got better. Again, I had to roll a little bit of gold there, but I do think it was worthwhile to do that. I'm on 55 health, and I think that people are probably aware of this, but in set 8, the player damage was increased. Basically, after stage 2, you take increased damage every time you lose. It's one extra damage every single time you lose as compared to set 6 or set 7. And that might not sound like much, but it does add up over time pretty quickly. It means that you just have less time to put your board together before you get knocked out. And you really can't just afford to just loss streak all the way through. It's bad enough if you lose in stage 2. I mean, like, you can kind of loss streak through stage 2 because the damage is lower. But like, if you loss streak all the way through stage 3, you are, you're going to take 50 damage by the end of the stage. And you're going to be, down around like 40, 35 health, which is a very dangerous place to be because then you're down to like maybe 2 lives, maybe 3 lives remaining in terms of how many times you can lose in the store. So I realized I needed to get stronger. So I rolled a little bit of gold there on 6. Arguably should have done that sooner, but my gold was so low already, I didn't feel like I could roll too much sooner than that. But at least I was able to hit the 2-star Sivir, and then I was able to get this LeBlanc in, which is a pretty good admin. All right, now I'm up against this person who's also playing an admin board. They're playing through Camille as their main carry right now. They also have an Aurelion Soul in the back lines. Sivir. Tosses are ult at absolutely nothing, which is not great. And that means it's probably going to come up short. We do manage to get down to just 1 unit remaining, but no, come up short. So again, it would have been nice to win that round, get a minor winning streak going through. Of course, you could ultimately say, well, if you had lost that previous round, you'd have a 5-match losing streak, which also would have been good for econ purposes. But as I said, I need to start winning rounds soon. I'm taking a lot of damage here. I am not comfortable dropping too much lower than this on health. At least I had a little bit more in the way of hits. I did hit 2-star Alistar there. Alistar is kind of an awkward fit for my setup because I don't have mascot trait in. He is only providing the Aegis trait, which at Aegis 2 does not really do a whole lot. But as I said, I'm kind of lacking other units here. So this is very much the scramble drill. This is just me trying to make the best of a bad situation. I am not trying to win this lobby at all. I've accepted that I will not win this lobby. My goal is to try to top 4. If I can top 4 at all, I will be extremely happy. All right, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and level. And I'm going to go ahead and toss in a unit. And so I'm going to roll here. And there's a Zed here. Okay, like there's a Soraka. Again, this would have been an awesome Soraka game, but I just don't have the items to play Soraka. But there's a Zed, and I'm like, okay, well, Zed has to be better than a Galio at this stage of the game. He will put Hacker Trade in, so it's like, all right, we'll just toss the Zed. And then there's another Zed on the board as well. I was like, wait, what? Again, I'm rolling all the way down to 10 gold here, and that's deliberate. I wanted to roll down to 10. So we'll go ahead and play the Zed. And I was like, all right, well, I found these 2 Zeds on level 7. Maybe I can play through that. For right now, he's just going to give me Hacker trait, so that's something. But maybe we can make do with the Zed. I guess we'll have to wait and find out here. So anyway, I'm up against this person. Looks like they're playing some kind of mascot Star Guardians board, something like that. And Zed's in the backline. He's actually killing a lot of these units. So I was pretty sure I was going to win this fight. Look how many units there are around Lux. But Sivir decides to focus the Sona instead. And that Lux's Archangel Staff has gotten powered up. And it's like, really? Really? We lose this round? Okay, geez. Yeah, it turns out that Blue Battery plus Cybernetics plus Lux is pretty strong. All right, well then look at this. There's actually a Zed augment here. Contempt for the Weak. While you field him, your team gains 9% attack speed. And then I believe that gets increased on takedown. So this is actually the support Zed augment. But beggars cannot be choosers. I was like, well, guess we're a Zed comp now. So we're going to take out the Sivir, who had no traits in play, and then we'll look to play the Zoe. And so with LeBlanc and Zoe in here, we actually have 3 Hacker in, which is kind of interesting. That's going to give us some additional lifesteal, which makes sense. Zed actually has no lifesteal items on him, so having 3 Hacker is pretty good. Now the problem is these items were being built for either Samira or Aphelios in the late game. These are not quite Zed items. He has Rageblade, Giant Slayer, Last Whisper. Again, not quite what you would want to build on Zed, but it's my only chance to make something of this game is to pivot and pivot very hard out of the Sivir and into the Zed, because by dumb luck, I've managed to hit a 2-star Zed. So that's what we have to go for right here. Good news, I've managed to get on the Yuumi right away. And is that going to be enough to let me win this round? Well, there is that Nunu rolling around. This person has somehow managed to get a Nunu. I was going to say somehow managed to get a Nunu at level 6, but looks like they hit the Nunu because they got it from their augment. Normally, they would not be able to get this unit, excuse me, but apparently they were able to get a 5 cost out of it. Fortunately, Zed is chasing chasing the Nunu around, kind of stabbing him in the butt, and then manages to win that. So that person's super rich. They really should just maybe use a little more of their gold. Like, okay, I understand that they're re-rolling, slow rolling at level 6, to try to 3-star their units, but they're on 27 HP. They really should probably be more aggressive there. Anyway, though, we're in the process of now we have to convert our board over into a Zed board, which it was not at all. Zed had Hacker trait in, but he did not have Duelist or Laser Core trait in. So I'm going to sell the Zac to get Yasuo on here. That at least will make Duelist 2, give a little bit more additional attack speed. And now we need to look to find Sejuani, if possible, so that we can get the Laser Core trait in, and then see if we can build the front line from there. But it's an unusual Zed board, to be sure. 3 Hacker, 2 Admin, 2 Aegis, 2 Brawler, 2 Duelist. At least I have a useful Admin. Gives that stacking attack speed over time. Also, in this fight, Zed gets right on the Misfortune, so that's pretty nice. Now, if he can get over to the Vayne, we can probably win this fight. One nice thing is, because Hacker units are not that common, people still don't really position that well around the Hacker units. It's often pretty easy to get your Zed or whatever Hacker unit you have right on top of the carries for the enemy team. So now I'm going to try to go to level 8. We'll never go past level 8 in this game, but with Zed 2-star, I think I can make it to level 8, and then we'll just roll and see what we have to do there in order to stay stable right there. Now, I've won enough rounds that I'm actually 3rd pick here. I definitely need to build through the front line. I need another front line item of some kind here. So I have a Sunfire. The question is, what is the next item I'd like to build along with that? And I think out of these different options, the best I can do is to take... Oh, actually, never mind. I took the glove. Why did I take the glove here? Huh. I thought for sure I was going to build another frontline item. It's been a couple days since I played this, but I took the glove. Oh, you know what? I took the glove. I took it because I just wanted the Leona. Trying to remember why I played this. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take it and play Leona. I just want to have Leona because she's a good unit to have. She'll give me another rank of the Aegis trait. And eventually I'm just going to play her over Alistar. Although I think right now I keep the Alistar on my board a little bit longer. But the long-term decision is we're just going to play her over Alistar because I'm unlikely to hit her naturally. And if I can get another glove and I can Thief's Glove her, that would actually be pretty good. Maybe it would have been better to take like a belt, not a belt, a vest or another cloak for more frontline stuff. But Leona, again, I'm not likely to see otherwise. So that was the thinking there. Although kind of interesting that myself in retrospect was like, wait, what are you doing past self? Why did you take that unit? All right, so here's another fight where I have positioned correctly. I'm right on top of the Vayne, and there we go. Zed's going to kill the Vayne. This is a vertical duelist comp, so it's heavy duelist units. And most of the damage, though, is concentrated in that Vayne. The question, though, is can we kill the Zed? And the answer is no. No, we cannot kill the Zed. So the rest of the duelists are able to punch through my relatively weak front line. And I'm going to take a loss. And that's unfortunate because that person's on 96 HP. I would very much have liked to have won around there. But need to get to level 8. Need to wait until the end of this stage to get to level 8 and go from there. As I mentioned, the Hacker trait is providing some additional healing to Zed. Hacker 3 gives 40% Omnivamp, so heals for percentage of damage dealt. It'd actually be awesome to get a Hacker emblem right now. I could get up to 70% Omnivamp at Hacker 4. If there was some way I could find that, it would be absolutely amazing. My other augments not doing that much. I don't think the Cybernetic uplink is really doing a whole lot for my comp. And the target dummies are like, whatever. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not really a fit that I would take in this comp. So it's just one of those things. Now, I'm positioned correctly for this fight as well. I'm positioned to hit the Zoe, but unfortunately her Prankster trait kicks in. She just dashes away, and then she is healing off of her Hacker trait. So it's like, can Zed get over there and kill this unit? And the answer is yes. Zed is doing all of the work. This is a one-threat team right now. It is Zed and a bunch of tanks that stand around for him. He does 8,600 damage, and Zoe does the most at 1,100 after that. So I really need to get more units that deal damage on this board. It is not enough to just have this Zed. I do have a pretty decent front line. Like, not amazing, but decent. My problem is I do, like, no damage otherwise. So anyway, I just opt to go ahead and play the Leona. I'm going to look to find, hopefully I will find Sejuani, and then I will transfer the items off Blitz. I would actually sell Blitz and then replace Blitz. And that'll be my 2-brawler front line from there. And then I also, I have to find Sejuani. That's the hope right there. So let's see what we can do with these particular items. Again, I'm still trying to turn this into a Z comp, which is difficult at this stage of the game after the kind of the weirdness that I had earlier. Okay, I'm going to get a tier here, so can I maybe get a blue buff for Zoe? I actually can get a blue buff for Zoe, and I believe that I take that here. I also could sell the Leona, and oh, no, actually, I ended up taking, why did I take the belt here? Wow, I'm just second guessing myself left and right. And by the way, there's 2 more Zeds, but not really a whole lot I can do with them. There's also a Mordekaiser, so I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll definitely play the Mordekaiser, because that's another way to get Laser Core in, is we can play the Mordekaiser. Then we've also found an Echo. I still have not found a Sejuani, who is the unit that I was kind of hoping for. But we can transfer these items over to Echo, who will also give us a little bit more frontline. And then we'll go ahead and, I see what I did. I went for more I opted to make more frontline items here. And then I can potentially put Blitz in if I want to play the admin trait, but I believe I just end up dropping that admin trait. The stacking attack speed was not bad, but it's just kind of not what I've ended up hitting in this particular game. Still, having Mordekaiser is quite nice. He doesn't have any items, but he does have that magic resistance shred as I'm up against this other Zed board. Actually able to win the Zed versus Zed match. And then now with the help of my lifesteal, there we go. Actually going to be able to win this round against this other player and knock them down to 1 life remaining. At 8 HP, they will die the next time they lose a round. All right, well, there's Blitzcrank 2-star. Do we want to get Blitz back in this game? And I think at this point I was like, is there any unit I would want to take out? I really do need 3 Hacker because I have no lifesteal on Zed whatsoever. He really needs the Omnivamp. So I was like, all right, I'm going to opt to roll here. I don't need the Zeds. I'm never hitting Zed 3-star. Definitely do not have the economy to do that. There's more Zoes. I was like, do I go for Zoe 3-star? I don't have any items on Zoe, unfortunately. And so I've got this Echo who I would really like to 2-star, but I'm not especially close to that. So my front line is still kind of sketchy right now. But I do have the Mordekaiser. So if you're unfamiliar with Mordekaiser, just as a quick recap of what his ability does, he basically drops a building on the whole board, and it shreds the magic resistance of the enemy team. He shreds all enemies, slams a building on them, and at 1 star, the magic resist shred is 50%. So that's not terribly significant for my team because I deal mostly physical damage with Zed, but he's still a 5+ unit. He's still better than the other options I could potentially play. Anyway, in that fight, I was on the wrong side with Zed. Again, you can only predict so well because there are 3 different teams that you can potentially hit, and I had guessed that I was going to be on the other side. There's the Sejuani, so I was like, all right, Sedge. Do we play the Sedge? I think we play that over something. So I opt to take out the Mordekaiser for right now. We'll drop the Echo. I think that these items are, or never mind, we do keep the Echo. We're going to drop the Alistar, and there we go. All right, so we end up dropping the Mordekaiser. He was unitemized, but we're going to end up with 2 Brawler. We get admin trait back in. So 2 Brawler, 2 Prankster, 2 Aegis, and then I need to get more Sejuanis into my board. And then I also have an extra Yasuo right there. Anyway, this time, fortunately, I have Zed on the correct side again. He's right next to that Vayne, but Vayne's going to tumble away. Recon trait in action. So I was like, come on, I need you to get back on the Vayne, but Recon trait. Oftentimes, the units will dodge right into the middle of the enemy team, but sometimes it does come in handy. And look at Vayne. Oh, she dodges again. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I did the best I could with positioning, but like sometimes RNG goes against you, and it really did in that round. So I'm going to lose that round too, and now I'm down to just 10 HP, and now I'm probably dead on my next loss. And like, look how tight this lobby is. There are 5 of us or 4 of us that are under or like right around 10 HP, so it's very close in the lobby. Fortunately, 2 teams have gotten knocked out, so at least I can't do worse than 6th place. But I just need to win a couple more rounds here, and I was like, all right. I want this Warmogs. I need a frontline item here. That is by far the best I can do. And I'm just going to take that and put it on Leona so that she will survive to get her ult off in these fights. Again, I made the decision to play the Leona. I don't know if that was the right unit to grab long term. But since I am playing her, I want to make sure she survives to get her ult off. There's another Sejuani. Okay, can I hit Sedge 2-star? That would be huge. There's another Echo. We're going to keep rolling here. There's another Zoe. But I do hit the Sedge 2-star, so I'm going to sell the Echo, put Echo back in, and transfer these items over to Sejuani. That is very, very big. My front line has just gotten much stronger. So we're going to put all these tank items on Sedge, and then we're going to put the Warmogs on Leona so that she will survive to get her ult off. Now I have to look to position the Zed And I think right side is better for this fight, so let's get over there. And okay, this is not bad. We do get on the Yumi right away. I mean, it's not a 3-star Yumi, but probably still the right unit to hit right away. So we're going to jump on that unit and kill that. Okay, 1 unit down. Now we have to work on the mascot frontline. Fortunately, we have the Sunfire. Sejuani gets off a great ult that stuns basically the whole team. So we're killing their frontline, but we still have to do with that Nunu. Can we kill the Nunu before it regenerates? Fortunately, we've got the Sunfire burn on it, and oh, whoo! We're going to win and knock that player out, and we're top 4. We're top 4. Woo! This total mess of a game has finally turned into a top 4. Thank goodness. God bless. Merry Christmas, one and all. So, yeah, this was a rough game, but I'm quite pleased. Now let's see if we can outlast the person on 1 HP and the person on 19 HP. So if we can win another round or two, maybe we can make it a little bit further. It's a bit of a stretch to think we can beat the person on 88 HP when we lose on the next time we take a loss. But I'm going to shift over here. I do know who I'm up against. Ooh, that's not good. They just hit 3-star Vayne. But Zed's in perfect position, so come on, Zed. Can Zed win the 1v1? Vayne does not have recon trait in. This is a duelist board. And oh, Zed just barely clutches that out. So we're going to win that. Leona got off a nice ult. Can Leona get her ult off on this Zed? Yes. Yes, she can, so that's going to be burning down from the sky. Doesn't ultimately kill the unit, but does stall it for a little while. Come on, Zed. There's multiple Zeds here. There we go. Going to be able to win that. And oh, the person on 1 HP is actually out of the lobby. So it's no worse than a third. No worse than a third at this point. All right. All right. Let's go. Let's see how much further we can take this. So that fight went really well. That's a fight I probably should have lost. The other person's board was definitely better than mine with the 3-star Vayne, but positioning. Zed was able to get on that unit, even with Zed's kind of not so great items. Last Whisper is pretty good on him, but Rageblade, Giant Slayer are really not especially good items. You would definitely want Edge of Night like that person had, and then Hurricane's quite good on him. What are some of his other good items? I'm trying to remember. But definitely you do not want Rageblade, Giant Slayer. Those are backline items, not. Oh, you want a lifesteal item on him. That's right. I don't have a lifesteal item. But anyway, I made do with what I had, and I'm pretty happy with how things are going. So now let's see if we can win another one. I'm looking for Echo 2-star. Oh, I actually hit it. Nice. Now, if I can position a little bit better. All right, what do I want here? I was like, I'm not sure any of this stuff is that great. And maybe a Zeke's, but the positioning's a little awkward. So I'll put the Static Shiv on Zoe. That is going to be a Magic Resist Shred, which would not be terrible. So, all right, let's try to position against this board. I'm going to just need to move the Zed over to the right-hand side. But, oh, I make a mistake. Oh, no. I clicked on Zed instead of the Hacker Rim. Oh, no. He is not going to jump in the back lines. Ah, what a misclick. Now he's going to be stuck hitting the Galio. Oh, that's not good. So he needs to get in the backline and kill this Aphelios, but he just wasted a little time, and oh, Aphelios wins on like 1% HP, and that's going to do it. That's going to be a loss. Now, I don't think I would have won that fight anyway. They had 2-star Aphelios and 2-star Samira, but it's going to be a third, so I'll just cut ahead. You don't need to see the rest of this video. The person I lost to actually did end up winning the lobby. They went on a huge winning streak and eventually knocked out that player that had all the additional HP. But third place is really good, given what happened in this game. I was not hitting, I wasn't getting what I needed, and then I just had this lifeline of getting 2 Zeds plus a Zed augment, and I took it, and I think I made the most of it to squeeze out a third place from this game. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, take care, folks.